Welcome to the second episode of
Welcome to
Trikkety Track
episode.
Okay, fine.
Welcome to the second episode of Trikkety Track.
Trikkety
Track.
I'm Dutch Christmas.
I'm Sean Matrix.
And I'm insulted by your impression of me. I'm Bingo Gas Station.
Whoa!
Fuck you guys.
Previously on Trikkety Tricks, I'm sorry, Dutch. You're right. The show is misogynistic, and you just don't know how to speak because it was dumb what you said. It didn't come across at all what you intended it to. You inarticulate bastard.
Yes, it did. I don't know what you're talking about.
And Carl Sagan was right the whole time. Dutch and Bingo.
No!
Telosians are women.
So, we just got done watching the second pilot for Star Trek. It's entitled Where No Man Has Gone Before.
Yes. Which is that part of the lyrics of the show? It is, right?
I think so.
The lyrics.
Where no man
the lyrics of
has
the
gone
show.
before.
Yeah. Spoilers, somebody's been there before. Like, that was like the whole opening scene. They're like, 200 years ago, somebody was already here.
Yeah, that was retarded. They're like, this planet is uninhabited. And then once they got down there was like...
It was a mining facility.
Yeah, it was a mining facility.
That wasn't the
Yeah,
planet,
that wasn't
though.
I'm just
the
saying.
planet.
Okay, so...
The planet is what put tinfoil over.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
We're getting way into the episode already. I would like to apologize to Dutch Christmas because it turned out Dutch Christmas just didn't articulate himself very well when he was describing how
Sexist Star Trek is.
Yeah, he came off like a douchebag, and I apologize for misunderstanding Dutch.
Yeah, because I was clearly right.
You were right.
Yeah, you were right.
I
You
was
just
saying the whole time.
You
Yeah.
just said it poorly.
You said it really bad.
Oh, I'm so
You played
sorry.
it came off as coming from you,
Yeah.
and it came from G. Rottenberry.
Yeah, and we'd also like to apologize to the gays and the Muslims.
I said it doesn't matter that he's gay. You're the one who put the pictures up.
Who?
There's nothing wrong with those pictures. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Those pictures
Those are homophobic
were great.
pictures.
No, it was a respectable
Being
captain.
gay is normal. Dutch!
I didn't catch that.
Well, now you have. Ew! Star Trek gets a lot of praise for featuring multiracial cast and showing women alongside men in a militaristic setting, but is still pretty goddamn sexist. Okay, so I love fat women. I love that. Okay, so this is the second pilot for Star Trek.
Where no man has gone before.
Where no man has gone before. The reason why they went with another pilot, it sounds like... I've read some things. I did a little background, a little research. I think it comes down to the fact that Desilu put a lot of money into the project, and it was a big gamble, and they didn't want to see it fail, so they rolled with it.
Wait, the second time or the first time?
Both
Pretty sure
times.
it's
both
Both times. I mean, the Cage went over budget significantly, and it was over $600,000 for the pilot, and that's in '60s money.
Oh wow.
Yeah, it was a lot, and it fucking farted when it got to NBC. They were like, we don't really like this because it's boring.
Yeah, did they like the second one
Oh,
more,
oh.
or was it just like, we put too much money into this? Let's just keep going and make the audience like it.
Well, from what I understand, even though what were the criticisms of the
Too cerebral, too slow, and not enough action.
Yeah. Well, additionally, and more specifically, NBC said they didn't like the actors.
Huh.
They didn't like the acting. They thought the acting was flat.
What?
Yeah, that was.
I thought Dr. Booze
Dr.
and
Booze-
Captain Pike were really good.
Yeah, I thought they did pretty good too. But
I've got issues with Pike, but he might be a better actor than Shatner.
Whoa.
At least in Star Trek. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Hey man, old guy Shatner's a pretty cool dude.
Well, for the second pilot, they did ask Jeffrey Hunter back, and from what I understand,
He was busy exploding.
Well, before that, his wife was the one who evidently said that he was too good for sci-fi.
Wow.
What was it you said the last time, Dutch? Fucking women.
Yeah, all
yeah.
they're good for is eating salad.
That was and laughing.
These are the
And laughing
opinions
at
of
salad.
Dutch Christmas solely.
Yeah. Take them out of context.
So the second pilot was allegedly ordered by Lucy herself, but I've also read conflicting things that said that Lucy never even touched the script.
I personally didn't see what the difference was between the first one and the second one. They
I
even tried to
actually-
implement a lot of the same ideas.
Yeah, I actually thought the second one was less exciting than the first one.
I don't
interesting.
see that at all.
Well, Pike was a lot more animated than Shatner.
Well,
I guess
so.
I guess the thing in this was it had the big fight scene.
Yeah,
And it had an exploding bridge.
no.
Yeah.
Well,
It did.
Well, it did.
Yeah,
it
it
did.
did.
But Sean actually has it right because I did look it up. NBC was really happy with the fight scene. They liked the bare knuckle fight scene at the
I
end.
mean, like
okay.
the main thing that people remember from Kirk is fighting the rubber suit lizard man.
Yeah, with his bare hands. And I guess
So you're saying that Captain Pike should have been
I mean-
punching those women aliens?
yeah, I didn't know this, but yeah, there were women. I saw a picture of the keeper Telosian without her makeup in.
Yeah, I felt really bad. Like, I mean, even though after you had said that the main one was a woman, did
were
you
all
say
women.
that they were all women?
Yeah, they're all women.
So then
They're
I thought,
dubbed by
like,
men, the
There's
voices.
no way that like the second one wasn't a man. I felt really bad.
No, they were all
They're,
like,
they're
yeah.
in costume and makeup. It's
And-
good that you thought
yeah,
that.
and just dubbed by.
Effective.
Yeah, I mean, their makeup was really good. I thought. Yeah,
Plus, yeah, we were so distracted that they were throbbing cockheads.
Yeah,
I
mean,
bulbous,
why
throbbing
women-
cockheads.
Yeah,
Okay, so you mentioned the casting of the Doctor.
yeah, Dr. Pepper.
Yeah, Dr. Pico.
Yeah.
Piper.
Apparently, it sounds like Roddenberry had originally intended to cast DeForest Kelly all along as just
really?
he was either unavailable or
Just
the
took two.
yeah just
I
took
don't
too
know.
long.
I actually like Dr. Booze.
Yeah, I like
cool
Doctor.
guy.
Dr. Booth was good. I don't understand why they didn't
The
want to bring him
second
back.
Doctor sucked.
He was probably
He
unavailable.
was the Pike
Hoyt.
of Enterprise Doctors.
Dr. Booze's last name was Hoyt. This episode has the record body count for all of the original series Star Trek. So there was 9 that get killed when the Enterprise tries to leave the galaxy and hits the force field or whatever.
Yeah, when Sleepy Gary gets hit.
Sleepy Gary says 9, and then I think it said there were 3 killed on screen. Lee, Kelso bites it, and then Gary bites it, and then the refrigerator unit bites it.
So, oh yeah.
Yeah, those are the other 3.
The refrigerator unit.
The freezer unit. He was
Doctor,
yeah,
Lady Refrigerator.
Doctor ESP.
Oh. You know, for some
Science
reason I
officer.
didn't even think that she really died. I know that it showed, like, oh, I closed my eyes and I lay down. But I, for some reason, thought, like, nah, she just, like, got a little tuckered out.
She's
Well,
sleepy.
Yeah, she was just
Sleepy
sleepy.
Weepy.
After her Star Wars lightning battle, even though Star Wars came later.
Star Wars stole the idea.
Yeah.
Kinda did.
Like the last scene of Return of the Jedi was taken from this episode directly. Like when the Emperor and Darth Vader have that lightning fight at the end, and Luke is the referee.
Also, I think this went 9 days, 9-day shoot. On the 5th day, there was a bee attack on set, and Shatner and Kellerman was the female doctor or the science officer, were stung. So I don't know. I didn't notice it when watching it, but evidently they have like bee sting.
Oh, that's really messed up. That Scotty was stung by a beast. They amputated his middle
Yeah.
finger.
No,
that how they lost it?
No,
Well, no, he was
James-
flipping the bee off and it cut his finger off.
James.
I said, bitch.
What's his name? Sean.
Fucking
James
James
Caan.
Doohan.
James Doohan, yes. He was a World War II veteran, and he got his middle finger shot off. And you can kind of sort of tell, but not really in this episode. He does a really good job hiding it. I had no idea, like forever, that he did that.
Yeah, and what's funny about it is...
I think he was there on D-Day
yeah.
too, and he killed like a couple snipers.
Oh, that's messed up.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Like when you know it, you can see it, because then he spends the whole time he's on screen clenching his
the right hand.
the right hand. Yeah,
Is it right hand or left? I can't.
that was right.
Yeah, seeing every episode that I have from 1965 to 1999.
When it was canceled due to ratings.
Yeah, that I also did not notice that he was missing his middle finger.
Yeah, I've never
I
noticed.
mean, he flipped Hitler off.
And I want to say that one of the stuntmen do his hand work for when there's close up of his hand.
Hand models.
Well, yeah. I mean, sometimes.
How do you get into the stunt?
There'll be a
hand
reaction.
business?
What?
We should all get into the stunt hand business.
Stunt hand business.
I was just thinking, like, maybe for the close-ups, they should just given him a prosthetic finger. And, like, back then it'd be made of, like, paper mache or
Would.
something.
Yeah. It would not have looked good. He was cast because he could do accents. This is also Sulu's first
Wait,
episode.
what nationality is he?
Canadian.
He's Canadian,
Like
motherfucker.
his parents are from Ireland, so conceivably he could. What was his normal
Well, he was
voice?
supposed to be
Just
Scottish.
No accent.
Yeah, he didn't really have an accent. I mean, he just was very good at picking it up, so that's why he was hired.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
More you know.
That's more amazing to me than the missing middle finger.
Well, he lost his middle finger in the war. He was a crazy.
I
war
already
hero.
said what I said. It's more amazing that he could do the accents.
Okay. So another thing about this episode,
He didn't have to be ashamed of his finger. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
We're accepting.
He was a war hero.
Yeah.
This is also Sulu's first episode. He acted in Hell to Eternity with Jeffrey Hunter, so he was in a movie with Jeffrey Hunter.
Who did he play?
Like-
Was he Jesus' friend?
No, Hell to Eternity was a war film, and he played a Japanese dude.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of ironic, though I think in that movie he was a good Japanese dude, but ironically, he played a lot of evil Asians. That was like what he did.
That's the stereotype.
Well, I understand, especially for that period, but it's ironic because Homeboy wasn't in a Japanese internment camp during World War II. Like, his family
Yeah.
was in fucking Manzanar, I think. I could be
Say
mistaken.
farewell to Manzanar.
And just, So, they were also looking at other possible candidates for the role of the captain. They thought about Jack Lord. You know who Jack Lord is?
Dutch. Yes, of course.
Dutch.
Yes,
Who's Jack Lord?
Jack Lord is. He was the guy that's.
Isn't that Dano?
Yes.
Yep,
Fuck
he
yeah,
was Dano.
Sean Matrix watches his television.
I don't know what that is. Is that a Hawaii 5-0?
Yeah.
Hey, look at that! All right, Tom Selleck.
So Jack Lord, yeah, and the other one was Lloyd Bridges. Remember Lloyd Bridges?
Yes, I do.
Bingo.
What?
Father
you guys,
of
I'm sorry.
Bo and Jeff.
No, that's fine. You're trying to call me out for actors that
I know,
have never
I know.
even heard of. Lloyd Bridges. He was the guy from Police Academy that did all the funny voices.
Close.
Yeah. It was
He
his
did the
father.
Under the Sea thing.
No, I picked the wrong day to quit taking methamphetamines. I sure did pick the wrong day to stop sniffing glue.
You talking about
Wait.
Leslie Nielsen?
It is a Naked Gun reference.
No, but close. You're very,
is
very
it
close.
Airplane, then?
Yeah, it's Airplane. He's the guy in Airplane.
Who is he?
The air traffic controller. That's Lloyd Bridges. He's the father of Jeff Bridges.
And Bo.
And Bo
Don't forget
Bridges.
about tiny little fat Bo.
Forgot about Bo.
Everyone does.
Yeah, he was considered for the role of captain of the Enterprise.
Oh, that's funny.
That's awesome.
Yesterday I heard that Bill Murray was supposed to be Batman.
I heard that too.
That
That would have been
would have
weird.
been hilarious.
They were gonna camp it up, obviously, but still, it would have been
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah, they said it was
Just
dreamed
like-
up in 1979.
Like
way
sarcastic asshole Batman.
before, I guess.
That would be pretty good. Batman's kind of like that already. Roddenberry casted another yeoman. Did you notice that?
I did notice that.
Yeah, I don't know.
She stood there the whole time.
And did nothing. But
And waited for.
Sleepy Gary tried to grab her.
Yeah, as soon as the ship started getting taken down, he's like, "Come here," and he like grabs her inappropriately.
In a
Well-
private.
I mean, what was the point? That was
Places.
all she was good there for. He like motioned to her, and she like
She
what do you
literally
want?
stood there
And
like
then
a
he's
stick
like,
the
"Yeah."
whole time.
okay, do you want me to spoil the reason why?
Sure.
Roddenberry wanted a fucker.
Whoa.
Whoa.
How old was he at the time?
Roddenberry?
Oh, he must have been
like
like in his
68.
30s, right?
He was 30s, probably mid 30s. He already had a family at that point. But
Whoa.
it's even worse than that.
Yeah, with the other.
Is that why
first
number
officer.
one-
No,
wasn't
no,
there?
no. Okay, so let me tell the story
really?
because
Because number one was
Okay,
his wife,
Let,
right?
let Bingo.
Bingo's
Bingo.
gonna tell you a little yarn here.
Bingo
Because
story time-o.
I texted you fucks, and I said that
Whoa,
I just figured out that Gene Roddenberry was Captain Kirk, and I didn't mean that like metaphorically. I mean that literally.
You want us to remember that one text message out of like the 20 nonsensical ones you send every day?
Yeah. I mean,
How are we supposed to know which ones are
okay,
real?
whatever. Anyway, so Gene Roddenberry. So he flew in World War II. He crashed a plane, killed 2 people in it. Then he.
What a
That's
badass.
a good story.
Well, no, I mean, I'm comparing him to Kirk. I'm comparing him to Kirk, okay?
Oh, this is how he dealt with his PTSD? He had other people kill
What if I
actors
did
on
this in
screen.
space?
No, I'm just saying, he was piloting and 2 people died. He went on to become a crash test investigator. Then after the war, he was a commercial pilot, again crashed a plane into the Syrian desert, killing 14 people. And then, like, with a broken rib, he was able to help rescue 8 people. After that, he became an LAPD cop and shopped around his story. Meanwhile, he started a family, had a couple kids, and then started banging everyone. Like, he was banging Uhura and number 1 at the same time, and they both knew it.
Oh, I thought number 1 was his wife.
Well, eventually they got married.
Yeah.
But it was his mistress, and he cast her because she was his mistress. I also wanted to touch on the fact that we're reviewing from an unrevised version of the series because in 2006-ish, they updated the episodes with CGI. They remastered them.
What do you mean? What, they just changed the colors, or did they like add in like CGI stuff?
Yeah,
They added in CGI stuff.
CGI'd the Enterprise.
And the planets.
What?
And
Yeah,
a lot of the
stupid.
effects. Well, I mean, it looks really good.
Oh,
Yeah, but it's
that's
really-
right. I was on YouTube and
also jarring.
I saw a video. I don't think I saw it with you guys where they showed the original pilot with Captain Pike, and they showed the differences.
Yeah.
Like they did. They made the planet look a lot different, and they made like certain things look a little bit different. And I just didn't understand why they did that.
Well, when you look at some of the other ones, you can sort of tell that it's dramatic. Nimoy was actually...
But I mean, was it necessary? You know, like how people complain about the Star Wars,
Yeah. It's
the
bullshit.
special edition ones or whatever.
Yeah, I'm of the same opinion because Nimoy at first, when he learned about they were going to remaster them with updated CGI, he said, "Shame on them." And then when he was
Good
actually,
on you, Nimoy.
he said, "Shame on them." And then afterwards, he said, "I'm amazed at what they were able to do." So
I'm amazed.
Well,
I'm
of
amazed.
course, he has to endorse his own stuff.
Yeah, he made his living on Spock.
Yeah, he's not going to say, "Wow, that
This
it
is
was
bullshit.
just as bad as I thought it would be." I hope no one buys it. That'd be stupid.
Okay. Well, I think he actually said that of Generations. He says Generations was a piece of shit, and I wouldn't have never been in it.
Oh,
I just made that up, though.
well, I mean, the most recent example now is how James Cameron's coming out talking about how great Terminator Genesis is,
Yeah, I know.
and that movie did horribly to the critics. So I don't think James Cameron actually thinks that it was good. He's just saying it to promote.
Of course
the
he
movie.
is.
Yeah, Brad Pitt said that about the World War Z. Another thing about the remastering is the fact that what?
I like how you stop immediately after I go, because you're like, what are we going to do? Keep talking about movies, guys? Let's get back to the subject. Anyway, back to the remastering of the episodes later on.
Well, no, I just was bringing this up. Fine.
No, go ahead.
No, fuck you.
I just don't think that you have any right to criticize what we're talking about. We're just going to
Whoa.
talk about
Things are
something they
getting-
did 30 years after they shot the
Things are
episode.
getting
Well, no, I was
heated.
going to get super geeky is all.
Oh, no, go for it.
Okay. Really?
Yeah.
You sure?
Yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Okay, because it's going to be really geeky.
Oh, I'm ready.
Okay, I'm going to go full Tarantino.
Hold on to your butts.
I'm going to go full Tarantino on you with geekiness. So, the original show was shot on film with negatives, and that helped them remaster because they can blow up those negatives however they want. Because when it's on film, you can enlarge to as large as you want. Now, if you were to film in digital, it gets pixelated because when you record in digital, it's set to whatever resolution you started with.
Okay.
So I read that certain episodes or towards the end of Voyager and what's it called?
Enterprise.
Oh, Deep Space Nine.
Oh.
They're filmed in digital. They will never look good on a big screen like in a movie theater because they'll just get all pixelated. And that was the problem with some of the special effects from like Next Generation. They would have to be redone entirely, and I think they were to look good in a higher definition. Once you go digital, you set a cap for how good it'll look at a
Once
certain
you go
size.
digital, you won't go back.
Oh, guys, did you notice Lloyd Haynes as Alden in this episode?
Boy, did I.
Yeah, I know. The credits gave him like they said like what, William Shatner, Leonard Nimoy, and then the guy who played Alden. And I'm like, I don't even remember who Alden is.
Are you being sarcastic, or did you actually notice that?
No, I literally noticed that. I
Oh.
didn't, because the opening credits they just said William Shatner and then Leonard Nimoy as Mr. Spock. Nothing else. Only those two. And then at the end credits, they showed 4 names, and I was like, that's kind of weird. I don't even know who the hell Alden is.
Okay, so he has like one shot. He's the black guy.
He had like 2 or 3 shots.
He had 2 or 3 shots.
He had
but-
one line, I think.
Yeah, and I was impressed with him. Those were great shots.
Yeah, that was I thought it was a little bit different. Maybe I just didn't notice it from the first one, but I think they were doing a lot more cuts, a lot more camera work
Yeah.
in this one.
Well, that character was actually supposed to continue on.
As Ahura, he sat in her chair.
Yeah. The myth is they
That's
didn't like.
racist.
Yeah, the myth is that it was racism that kept him out. But I think the execs just said he was boring. It was boring. All 3 still shots of him were
I
boring.
don't know. Sometimes when I watch like these old timey shows, it makes me think of Remember the Titans. No, remember it was the football movie where the blacks and the whites are going to play football together, and then the white people are racist against all the black people. Well, I was getting that kind of impression from Lee Kelso, like when he first saw the black
he
guy.
seemed pretty dismissive of
he gave him a look, and I was like, "You're racist, Kelso."
I did not get that.
You racist bastard.
Why-
Yeah, and then Captain Kirk was giving him a look, like, "Hey, keep in line.
I don't know what you're
Woody.
talking about.
Pull up the footage."
I'm not pulling any footage. So this episode deals with religion, kind of, sort of,
Of course.
because like he's going to become a god or something.
Yeah, like instantly, as soon as he gets his stupid powers. That's why I was saying that. I thought that, you get those powers and instantly you're like, I should be a god. I'm going to rule over everyone. No, I would like play pranks.
You're a mischievous guy.
Yeah, he's like,
You misuse your power immediately.
oh man, look at this. I can change the dials. I can make him go up. I can do whatever I want. Hey, doctor, check this out. And I'm like, yeah, do it. Make her take her top off. And then he's like, nope, I'm going to make them all go down.
Kill myself.
And I don't even know if he was like, yeah, it insinuated that he killed himself, but she didn't even check for a pulse or anything.
She's
like, please stop. Please stop killing yourself. How do you know he didn't just like put his vitals down, or he just changed the dials? How do you know he actually killed
I
himself?
assumed he just changed the
He
dials.
flipped.
Yeah, I
he
thought-
flopped over. I think it was
Until-
assumed he was using his own body function.
I thought he was playing around.
Yeah.
I thought he was just fooling around. That's why she said, please stop. She didn't even check his pulse.
Gene Roddenberry was raised as a Southern Baptist, and the fuck are you laughing at? Dutch?
Okay, so I guess that this is like, this ties in with your whole religion thing. Because I was
Yeah.
like, awkward pause.
You're
Gene
right.
Roddenberry grew up. I'm like, what the fuck?
A Satanist.
No, go ahead, sorry.
No, it's okay. Gene Roddenberry was raised as a Southern Baptist and grew up to be a kind of a theist, deist, humanist. And said, fuck you.
No, tell me how William Shatner grew up.
Canadian.
He grew up Canadian. The stink of...
They worship the
Yeah.
mother maple tree.
this is the first and last appearance of the phaser rifle in the original Star Trek. Women still wear pants in this episode. They didn't transition out of pants yet. Is there anything else you guys want to talk
That's fine.
about?
There's nothing wrong with women wearing pants.
Well, I
women
mean,
in pants can be sexy.
it was the 60s, and I guess it was taboo to cross-dress. I guess it was considered cross-dressing at the time.
I liked Captain Kirk's like captain like
hand
personality. Well, because he saw Gary as a threat like immediately, but he still wanted to defuse the situation. But he like really turned on his friend really fast because they were friends.
Whatever, man. He's got to think of Starfleet. He's a Starfleet officer, and he has to think of the rest of his crew.
I thought he was just being super hypocritical. He was like, but can Gary have the wisdom to use his powers wisely? And it just like the scene before, he's like, yeah, if I'm not back, nuke this fucking planet with radiation. Oh, and yeah, you should probably wake up Spock at some point.
Nah, just leave him there asleep.
There's no vacationers on the Enterprise this time. I noticed. And George Takei was in this episode.
Yeah. Did he have no, he did have like one line.
Yeah, he had a line,
Yeah,
and
like,
then
he had a
he
line.
was also
He's mostly there for reaction shots.
he was a
though.
science officer. He was a physicist or something.
I was just distracted because he was so much younger. Like you're looking at him and it's like, oh, he looks younger. But then when he was talking,
Yeah, it
I
sounded
missed like
way different.
I was missing like that deep
Yeah,
older
no,
voice that
oh
he has
my.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, he's certainly aged very well. I mean, I think.
Yeah, I was just saying.
I'm just
it
saying,
was
like-
crazy how young he was.
Yeah, if you like close your eyes, I mean, I guess Leonard Nimoy was sounding much different later on, but I mean, William Shatner to me sounds like the same guy. If you were to close your eyes and listen to him now and back then, it would sound the
when I
same.
close my eyes, I do hear him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
He whispers to me in my sleep. Bill Shatner.
Hey, Shatner's a cool dude.
He says. I hear before.
Chekhov wasn't in this one.
No, and neither was Uhura.
Well, yeah, we already said that Uhura and Bones isn't in it, but
Yeah.
I didn't think about Chekhov.
Yeah.
I guess he was too busy checking off in the bathroom.
Well, actually, I think he was brought on initially to replace Sulu because Sulu was out for a bit.
Are we gonna go another episode where like not the whole cast is gonna be in it?
Yeah.
This is lame.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they changes. I mean,
Doesn't change.
it changes.
No.
There's going to be a new yeoman.
Oh my god.
Initial research indicates that Roddenberry took a lot of credit for creating Star Trek, and he still gets a lot of credit for creating Star Trek. And that's kind of true, but in the same way George Lucas kind of created Star Wars. Like, he contributed some to it, but, I mean, a good portion of it is the collaboration of others, and, I mean, studio execs evidently were fighting fighting Roddenberry and his lawyer throughout the whole of Star Trek.
No, that makes complete sense. I mean, I've always thought the same. That's what they said when Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull bombed. Was they said, George Lucas he's not as good as everyone thinks, and
Yeah.
he has to get the credit because he's the one. He was the originator.
Yeah.
He's the one who originally wrote it. That's who Gene Roddenberry is.
Okay.
Even if he handed over the reins to other people,
What?
like he still has to be
Who?
credited as
Indiana Jones?
Yeah.
George Lucas wrote it.
He created the character.
Did he?
Especially
Didn't you
Star
ever,
Wars. I knew it's-
Like,
No, I thought he was.
Like
I knew he was
Speed?
producer.
no, yeah, it's like his character.
Oh. Well, anyway, Roddenberry, subsequently after the original series was canceled, did a lot of the convention circuits, and his lawyer, I guess, inflated the myth of Roddenberry being the creator, and the studios felt like they had to keep him around, and later on with other projects, Star Trek projects, he was kind of kept on in a token capacity, and he was able to wrestle more control on Next Generation, but he made everyone's life a living hell.
Yeah.
And
Well, that does suck, but I mean, just from your point or argument, I would say that Roddenberry was if there was like a Star Trek king or something, I would say it's Roddenberry because he's the one who started the whole thing. Just like you don't even like Joel on MST3K, he's still the guy who started.
No, I understand that, and it's just that I think Roddenberry gets credit for Star Trek and what Star Trek is to people. Like, they'll throw out, this is Star Trek, and if you look at what Roddenberry had actually pitched,
Yeah.
nothing like it. Like, Spock is supposed to be red. The studio's execs had to fight to keep all of Roddenberry's weird sexual fantasies out of the episodes. Like, that's... it would have gotten a lot weirder had he had complete creative control.
Saying it's like the dreams of bored ship captains he kept out.
You would totally do it, wouldn't you? So...
But that's all I'm saying is that like people want to give credit.
Yeah, to
No,
like,
people-
something.
the
people wrote
originators.
this.
So what? I mean, what are you supposed to do? Like say like when I think of Star Trek and the creator, I think of Samuel A. Peoples. No,
Well,
you
People
think of
want to
Roddenberry.
think of one person
Yeah.
as being like the
understand that.
single-minded, like visionary
I mean,
behind something.
I mean Stan Lee. Maybe he did. I mean, I'm not a big comic book person, but maybe Stan Lee didn't even write most of those. But you think of Stan Lee when you think of Marvel.
A little bit. Yeah, you do. And you don't think about Jack Kirby. You're like, who? Yeah, that's why.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's why.
I really do go. I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's why. No, I mean, like, yeah, and that's the problem. I mean, Star Trek was a collaborative experience, or collaborative effort, and it was contributed to through all the different writers that wrote for it and all the different directors that wrote for it. And Roddenberry had his input as well. It's just that he takes the lion's share of credit, and it's probably not entirely well earned, per se.
So Captain Kirk and the Vulcan science officer, Lieutenant Commander Spock, they're playing chess. And then Spock warns the captain, and the captain goes, "Booyah!"
Tasha.
Checkmate. Kirk criticizes Spock Spock criticizes Kirk for playing a very illogical game, but that makes no fucking sense. This is like the start of what irritates me most about early Star Trek, and particularly the Vulcans, is that the writers don't know what logic is, and so they give Spock the weirdest bullshit dialogue. Oh, you're winning the game that way was illogical, and it's like, no, that's
won
not.
the fucking game, you dumb
You won
Klingon or Vulcan prick.
Yeah, you won the game. There's quit being butthurt about it.
Oh.
Stop it with your butthurt. Get your shit together, Spock.
He's like,
No,
Spock, would you
don't
like
do it.
some aspirin for that butt hurt? Maybe a nice cushion?
Yeah, maybe you need some preparation H for
Oh.
those cuts
On his
that
butt
I gave
that
you.
hurt.
No, that's gross. Not on the butt.
What? He's got cuts on the butt.
Oh, and I did go back also, just from the clips that I saw. And even though it was probably the director saying, please don't close your eyes, because we want to see those bomb-ass tinfoil eyes, but they don't blink. They don't blink when they're on camera.
No,
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, because you were saying it was very painful. They must have been blinking all the time. I'm saying, like, it must have been painful. That's why they're not blinking on screen.
Yeah.
well, they want to show the effect. I'm sure that's why. You would
Also, like, it took me until, like, most of the way through the episode to, like, be sure that he wasn't blind.
Yeah, it was
He
funny.
looked
Like, every time he's, like, looking around.
Well,
Like,
Kirk! Don't kill me!
well, they say
lady
that-
friend is like, what? What is it?
Yeah.
And then he's, like, looking up, like,
Please stop!
we have a visitor.
I can't stop, lady doctor.
So yeah, it is tinfoil in their eyes. There's a little pin prick.
They have
Can
a-
we watch
they have a
some
new
good
one.
Star Trek?
What's wrong with these episodes? The
first one was okay.
This one was
Better.
worse.
What?
I personally thought it was worse. Didn't you think it was worse?
It's a better episode.
Sean Matrix.
No, where no man has gone before.
Oh, you thought it was better? You can think it's better. It's fine.
I don't know. There's like parts of it that were. I think it's less entertaining but better made.
How can you say that? The first one is so boring.
Yeah, but it's better. There's more to make fun of. And this one.
Oh, well,
wasn't
that's a
that
different.
much
That's a
more
different.
action-packed.
That's a different.
This one had whatever. It's still entertainment value.
Well, to me, like, okay, one, I liked the idea more, so maybe I'm biased in that sense. Like, I'm just going based on the idea.
I guess this
I
one-
like the idea behind the cage over the idea of Gary being a god.
Yeah.
But it also had, like, subplots, you know? Like, the cage, he was a tired old captain, and he wanted to spruce things up. What do they have in this one? Kelso's racist? Kelso's a badass engineer?
Yeah.
What else was going on in that episode?
Bare knuckle fist fight.
Yeah, but the fight was lame.
It was, but I mean, you gotta have something. It had violence, and that's something that the first one kind of sort of had, but not really. You
This
had
one- this
Space
one
Hillbilly
was listen to
jumping on a
Spock.
spear,
Yeah, that's hilarious.
and you had some cock choking.
Yeah, that was funny too.
Cockhead choking.
Yeah.
So the episode starts.
Uh,
Oh, okay. So this is the first episode. The episode starts. Stardate. They bring up Stardate right away.
yeah.
Well, Peoples, which is the guy who wrote this, and Roddenberry really didn't give a fuck. Roddenberry borrowed the 5-digit Julian calendar date, shortened it to 4 digits, and renamed it a star date. It doesn't actually mean anything in the context of the story. The Star Trek Enterprise gets a distress call from the Valiant from 200 years ago. What? So this episode's called Where No One Has Gone Before. And they get a distress signal from 200 years ago, and we're like 30 seconds into this episode, and someone was already there 200 years ago. Mr. Kelso lets them know that there's a thing out there, and it's 1 meter in diameter, small enough to bring on board if you want to risk it. And he lets Kirk know, and Kirk gives him that look and says he's going to risk it for the biscuit. Yeah, the transporter sounds like a fucking dial-up modem. It was a problem when Mom called. You had to tell her you have to get off the internet. You make a phone call, and it's burned, pitted, old style space recorder and Spock surmises it was from an attack. So it starts beeping and transmitting, and then they go to fucking red alert. They show the intro song without the narration. Still pretty good. There's an interesting story about how Roddenberry fucked over the composer of that theme by adding lyrics and thus splitting the royalties with them. Gary barely makes the turbo lift. He makes it in the nick of time. Noticeable costume mismatch from the cage. There's some people wearing cage costumes, some people wearing new ones. It's a little weird. I guess nobody got the memo.
You mean like the turtlenecks?
Yeah, the turtlenecks. So some of them, I think Gary's wearing one. Kirk's not. Yeah. So take a break, Alden. Let Gary take helm. It's the black guy, okay?
Yeah, but
it's the black guy.
This is before he turned possessed, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So he says, okay, black guy, you're done being black guy at the helm. Now let's put Gary in.
I don't even think he said his name. I don't think they said his name at all.
Have we gotten to the part where like
Probably not.
Kelso is super racist and is like
Not yet.
disgusted by?
No, that's not
Well-
until they go down to the uninhabited
Okay.
planet that no one's ever been there before.
But there's already
There's
stuff there.
giant
There's stuff
drill
there, yeah.
stations.
We get a look at the new yeoman standing boobs to eyes with Kirk.
Nice tits.
Yeah. According to Herb Sloan and Bob Justman, her role was actually a non-part, and Roddenberry claimed he cast her so he could score with her.
Did he?
Yeah. Oh, no, he did not.
Oh.
He did not.
Well, that's
Not worth it. They should have
But-
cut her out.
So Star Trek Enterprise reaches the end of the galaxy. The point being is they smack into it because I guess space is an ocean, and there's no way to go above or below the edge of the galaxy. And they hit it, and shit goes nuts.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Milky, no way.
Because there's a starman waiting in the sky.
Wait,
Plus-
is that part of the episode that they like smacked into the end of the universe?
End of the galaxy, not the end of the universe.
Well, that's what you're
Ah,
saying. something
Dutch.
about-
There's no.
You're saying something about the
ocean.
ocean.
Yes.
You
They-
can't go over or under it, so then you have to stop. What are you talking about?
Okay, so sci-fi writers notoriously have a hard time conceptualizing space. And this is also a problem with like readers, I guess, too. The point being is, in a three-dimensional space, you can go above and below. It's zero gravity. You can spin upside down. Like, we always see the Starship Enterprise right side up, but, you know, in space, there's no fucking up and down.
Well, it'd be disorienting.
Size is or
Well, yeah, it would be
position's
disoriented.
relative in space,
Yeah, see?
like in the water.
Tell us more, Carl Sagan.
Relativity.
Yeah, see? So the point being is, they smack into the edge of the galaxy, the Milky Way galaxy
Yeah,
in
you
this
keep saying
episode.
smack. You don't literally mean that they smack into it. Right?
Yes, I do, because that is the electricity that shocks the ESP fuckers.
What?
Yeah, this is the premise of the episode.
Man, I guess I wasn't.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Me
really paying
neither.
attention.
It's
I didn't.
pretty
I didn't
retarded.
get that space recorder thing either. I just thought it was some stupid burned up piece of shit
just
that
thought
possessed
They
people.
went through like some weird electrical field and realized that was the edge of the galaxy.
Yeah. So
That makes
the premise
sense.
being is the Valiant, which was the ship from 200 years ago, smacked also into the edge of the galaxy and created the same fucking weird shit that occurs on Star Trek Enterprise. So anyway, so Kirk explains over the intercom that they're picking up the emergency recorder. Spock interrupts to say some shit about the memory banks. Kirk says nothing of importance to the crew, so we found this recorder, and we're going to look at it later in the episode, just saying. The department heads show up to the bridge. Sulu's introduces the, for astroscience, head of astroscience, engineering and life science. We're introduced to Dr. Dinner? How do you pronounce that fucking
I
word?
don't know, lady doctor.
Lady Doctor. We're introduced.
Oh yeah.
Introduced to
They
Lady
don't
Doctor.
really, like,
Sometimes I discredit her and call her lady friend.
Well, she's
Yeah.
Lady Doctor.
She didn't do
they don't do much.
She
in the
majored
way
in
of-
psychology.
Oh, boy.
Like they barely ever say her name.
Well, she's doctor. She's a doctor,
Yeah,
and she says that she's studying stress or some shit.
she's playing Darkest Dungeon,
And then-
right on the Enterprise.
So I'll be Gary, and you can be Doctor Lady, or do you want to be the other way around? This is the part where Gary goes, "Hey!" He gives him like a pickup line, and then she shuts him down. Improving the breed, Doctor? Is that your line?
I heard that's more your specialty, Commander. Line included.
See, I don't even know what the fuck that meant.
Yeah.
That was- but that's what they said in the episode. I had to slow it down to figure out.
Sci-fi pickup lines and retort sucks so hard.
What was her response to him again?
I heard that's more your specialty, Commander, line included.
Line included.
Improving the breed, Doctor, is that your line? I hear that's more your specialty, Commander, line included.
I'm not sure that line makes sense.
No, it doesn't, but I'm sure...
Line included.
I'm sure Roddenberry was the one who put that in there.
Yeah, he just thought he was a real clever prick.
Well, I'm sure it worked for Roddenberry when he was hiring his crew. Anyway, so Valiant came about, re-entered the galaxy, and Homeboy wanted to know info on ESP. So that's what they learned from the Valiant recorder is there was a sudden interest in learning about ESP. Kirk, let's check this shit out. Warp 1, boom. Then we see reaction shots. Force field of some kind, Spock says. Deflectors, full intensity. The deflectors pick it up. The sensors don't. The edge of this galaxy.
They smack it.
Yeah, and Gary and Smith brace for impact, and they hold hands. Music swells, a light show, sparklers and controls. Kelso waves at smoke. Hey! Gary and Dr. Lady get space zapped. Get the fuck out with that noise.
Whoa.
Damage report to all stations. So Spock grabs Kirk.
In the junk.
Yeah.
Oh, you're a dude?
There are 9 dead, and the engines are on backup batteries.
Oh, that was really...
And then we learn Gary's got something with his eyes. He's got tinfoil eyes. Tinfoil eyes.
He's got tinfoil eyes.
Then we get a shot of the 3-foot model. They lost warp drive. Space.
3-foot model, what are you talking about?
Well, okay, so the model of the Star Trek Enterprise.
Star Trek?
Trick.
Yeah.
Is a model. It's not a real ship.
What the fuck?
And it was 3 feet long.
That's really long.
Well, they had a bigger one. That's the small one.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh, whoa.
Yeah. Then they they
Wait.
lost.
Did Roddenberry ever have sex on it?
Probably.
The big model, not the small one.
I don't know. I mean, I imagine it's very delicate. I mean, it's possible. Spock pulls up both Mitchell's and Dr. Lady's ESP file. One has a 20, 104, and the other has a 20 and 100.
Right.
That's their ESP score.
I don't know what that means.
Well, yeah, none of us do. I mean, it's a bullshit thing.
Stardate.
Stardate. Spock notices the link to ESP dangerous, and Dr. Lady's upset. She goes, well, normal ESP isn't dangerous.
Did she slur her words like that?
She did. And then
Dr. Lady drinks.
and they said, do we know there isn't a normal ESP? Yeah, so... And then Kirk goes to visit Gary in the med bay. Gary guesses Kirk is there without looking. He smells him coming.
You could hear the fucking door open.
He heard the door open, but how do you know it was Kirk? Could have been anyone.
He could have been guessing.
It was a good guess.
He's probably guessing.
It's not that good of a guess.
I mean, who do you expect?
Yeah,
to be
it's like his
here?
old
Probably
time long friend or whatever.
Well, it could have been the
There's
doctor.
also
Could
the
have been-
captain.
Could have been a
I guess
nurse.
He has to narrow it down.
Well, it's a ship.
And
There's a lot of
he's
people on
more
the ship.
familiar with the captain, who's his old friend, so he just blurted out, "Captain!"
Well, he may have done that like
Yeah.
every time the door opened, and
Hey!
that time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, fine, whatever. And then he says, "So I've been worried about you ever since that night on Denium 4. She was Nova, that one."
Whoa.
Which means she had an intergalactic sex change. "I feel better than I've ever felt in my life," says Gary. Think or sink in Kirk's class, because he took Kirk's class, and Gary confesses that he secretly set up Kirk with that blonde lab tech to get a good grade and distract Kirk. And Kirk goes, "Oh my shit, I almost married her. I'm getting even better ideas here," Gary says.
It's a good prank.
It is. Hook somebody up with a woman and they get pregnant. It's like, I did that. I set that up.
Oh, it's a good thing it was a close call. He said he almost married her, but luckily he
They
just
had-
ran away
He
like a
just-
man.
He
Like men do. Oh, I'm sorry, you're pregnant? I gotta go to the bathroom real quick. Never come back.
another star date. So of Star Trek, this episode is more of a low episode than a high episode.
Really?
It aired third because they didn't want it to be a premiere. I can understand why.
Well, I'm just thinking that this series it's gonna blow my wad because so far you guys have said that these 2 episodes are terrible compared to all the other ones, and I think they're both pretty interesting. Well,
This-
we already got 2 down. That's what I'm saying. How many are there?
79 or so
79.
of the first series.
That's a lot. Okay.
That's a fuck ton. Yes, it is. Anyway, and then Gary stares creepily at the camera, all creepy, like, yes, I can see you watching me. Yes, I know you know what I'm doing, and I enjoy you watching me do it.
Ooh, I have that mentality too.
Yeah.
And then we got a new doctor. Oh, and he leaves after testing Gary.
Then we're back in the hospital, and Sleepy Gary's tinfoil eyes.
Nice.
And Dr. Lady's there with him, and he's like, oh, I'm dead. I killed myself by turning off the life support machine. But he's really sleeping.
I think he actually... Oh. I think he actually died.
No, I am like really curious. When he did that, I literally thought he was just pretending to be sleeping.
Yeah, me too.
Or at least pretending to be dead. I thought he was just pretending. And
I don't see how he could really be dead though, because he like.
Okay, maybe he wasn't dead, but the point being is
no. I want to know what you thought. Like, did you fall for his ploy? Do you think that he actually
it was a trick to get
trick
sympathy from Dr. Lady, and it looks like he caught Bingo in his wiles.
The point of the scene is to demonstrate that his ESP powers make him do supernatural things like go into a state of dormancy. Which may be death, whatever, I don't care. But the point being is, he was able to will himself briefly to appear dead.
I disagree because I think the point of the scene was to show off to Dr. Lady.
Well, yeah, but it's demonstrating his powers. They're showing
He's demonstrating his powers by controlling the machine, not by killing himself or putting himself into stasis.
Yeah, and she...
You guys are dumb.
I also think that, no, she was pretty dumb because she's a
understand.
doctor, and when she thinks that he's dead, she thought that the way to
The whole-
resuscitate him is by shaking him.
The whole point.
That's what I would do.
The whole point is to seduce her to the dark side.
Yeah.
Gary and Dr. Lady are getting it on, or they think they're about to, and stupid Kelso comes in. It gets pretty awkward. So, Kelso comes in and Gary's like, hey, Kelso, starboard impulse packs have decayed and are dangerous, and they're gonna blow up. Then Kelso's like, you're fucking stupid, Gary. How could you know that? And Gary yells, I'm not joking, Lee! So they're back in the officer's room, and Kelso finds out Gary's right. And then he shows Kirk. And Kelso's awful skirt of Gary at that point.
Well,
They should just promote Gary because he's good.
Yeah.
He's good
But
at his
he's-
job.
Either that,
creepy.
or they should go right in there and just like fucking shoot Gary.
What? Or jerk him off?
Well, that's
Because-
what Spock said. Not the jerking off part, the killing part. Yes,
Because then Spock asked Dr. Lady if she noticed Gary having powers. And she's like, I mean, he basically has God powers, but NBD, you guys.
Yeah, her actions in the meeting are ridiculous, and I feel like okay, so maybe it's not a sexist intent, but they gave all the crazy lines to the woman.
No, it is sexism because then she says a mutated superior man could also be a wonderful thing. That's space sexism right
yeah, she
there.
really goes full blown like.
And she's protecting Gary ridiculously.
Yeah, she basically
because
she defends Hitler during this meeting. She's
a
like,
superior man's a wonderful thing. We need an Aryan man is a glorious thing, especially in space.
we just had this weird alien
Like
accident.
racist and sexist.
Well, let's break
Yeah.
let's break it down. Okay, so
break it down.
I want to put it in context. So, weird space accident. One of the crew members gets godlike powers. He acts all fucking creepy and like vaguely threatening, and he knows all sorts of weird shit. He's scaring the shit out of everyone. They're having this meeting about what are we going to do about it, and then his doctor psychologist shows up and says,
Ooh wee, that's a man.
"Ooh-wee, let's let him live, and let's not be afraid of his evil powers."
Sleepy Gary's a hunk.
Well, he just got his powers. I could completely understand that
He was
because
fucking
I would
creepy.
not want to kill him immediately
I
after he
would.
got in that freak accident. I mean, he
I'm
just
not immediately.
But when he's creepy and showing
Yeah,
powers.
not immediately.
Oh, I'm not joking, Lee.
Yeah, all adverbs.
Oh.
Immediately.
Ridiculously.
Yeah, that's ridiculously.
Anyway, the point being is, it's just she goes full blown psychotic in this meeting, and
I agree with her. I
no
honestly, obviously, in hindsight, I was wrong, but I'm saying at the time, Like, if your friend or your officer gets into a freak accident and is acting funny, maybe you should think, oh, he has a concussion, or he'll get over it. I don't think, let's kill him.
Not just acting funny, like exhibiting godlike powers.
Yeah, let's kill him because he made life support go down.
Yeah, and
That could
because
just
he's
been a
kind
power
of
glitch.
acting like an evil, creepy asshole.
Yeah.
Next time you run into a magician, you stab him for him being a god.
Well, I mean, that's good just on principle.
It is.
Magicians are assholes.
They are the bottom rung of entertainers, yes.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, he's acting fucking, like, evil genius. Like, if suddenly, okay, so let's say, okay,
He can't see. He has tinfoil in his eyes. If they would have taken the tinfoil out of his
You can
eyes.
see because he has godlike powers. To
Yeah,
see
he
No,
can
didn't you
tinfoil.
see? He always like looks blindly everywhere.
that's because the actor's blind wearing that shit. That's not how the
Yeah, if
character's
they would have
supposed
just
to be.
taken the tinfoil out of his eyes, then he would have been able to see.
Oh, so the doctor should have just removed the tinfoil and said, how'd these get in there?
Yeah, exactly.
It's like,
Well,
turns out,
Not to be exactly.
Well, guys, Spock agrees with Bingo and I. He
Heard of that
said that
Gotta
he
take
wants
that.
to pick up some ship parts on a mining colony that's fully automated, and he
Where no
wants
man
to
has been
dump
before.
Gary there.
it's really
Kirk
close.
says, "No, we're not going to strand him." So Spock says, "Well, then I guess we have to kill him." And Kirk is like, I'll consider that. Because his old friends, even he knows,
Yeah.
he agrees with Spock, who agrees with us.
Yeah.
Gary needs to die.
Well,
because
Gary's acting stereotypically evil. And that's like a sign. I mean, once you've seen enough Star Trek Dutch, you'll be like, oh, he's acting a little suspicious. We should probably kill him because he's probably a fucking monster
Well,
with
if
godlike
people
powers.
watch
And-
our behavior with each other, then they'll think we're all evil and that we should all be killed, right?
And
We are not exhibiting godlike powers except for me.
Spock doesn't want Gary stealing his man, being Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nobody gonna steal his man. So they gotta kill Gary.
Stand by your man.
So then Spock and Kirk
Be
go to
running.
visit Gary in the hospital, in the sick bay, and Gary force lightnings them because Gary was the Emperor the whole time, guys, not Palpatine.
Wait, he forced lightnings them in the sickbay?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like,
Does he? No, he doesn't.
yeah, he
I
does.
thought he forced lightning them outside.
Yeah, no, that's later.
No, it's not. These notes were all written they're written very carefully.
I remember he goes on a megalomaniacal.
Let's put it up right now.
He goes
put
on-
it up right now.
Okay, well, he goes on a megalomaniacal rant.
Yep.
He raises his arms, and then they elbow the shit out of him.
No,
and then they
he force lightnings them. They're like, ugh, and then they go
They
and
don't
hold
elbow
him
the
down
shit
and
out of him.
inject
They
him with
nudge him
heroin.
with their elbow. And he goes down.
Oh,
Oh! Looks like you guys can eat a big bowl of lightning shit.
lightning dicks.
I said shit.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know. I was imagining big bullet dicks. I don't know.
Big
what
bowl of lightning dicks. Star Wars stole lightning from Star Trek. Oh God.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Gary stands up and realizes, oh God, a glass tip.
Where's your godlike power now, bitch?
Spock and Kirk.
And he pauses and waits for the
Kirk
cut.
just like jabs him, elbows him right in the hip, and he goes down immediately.
Stop saying like jet. He like nudges him.
Well, okay,
Yeah.
so he
goes,
knew.
hey girl, and they take Gary back to the transporter, and Dr. Pepper shoots him up with heroin again.
Yeah.
And Gary's now a heroin junkie.
And then we're suddenly on another planet.
We're on that mining colony. Kirk has Kelso rig up a self-destruct to blow up Gary when they leave the colony. They put Gary behind some force field. And they let Dr. Lady stay with Gary by herself, even though she was just arguing on the ship
Yeah.
that they should let Gary live because
He's
they're
awesome.
basically become their god.
Yeah, I mean, like,
He's like,
Let's put her
he's
in
like,
charge.
superior man, that's a wonderful thing. We should let him be our god. By the way, I swear I won't let him out or anything.
yeah, the delegation
Trust
skills.
me.
Yeah, let's let Kelso do the hard shit.
Gary
Well,
wanders.
this is early in the
Yeah,
series.
Gary
You know,
Gary wanders into.
Spock is illogical and Kirk is an idiot.
Yeah. the electric laser fence holding Gary in. He just kind of wanders into it, and it zaps him. He loses his tinfoil eyes for a few seconds.
Well, I think it's like he's like a boss fight where you have to like lead him into something and then you get him weakened. Yeah, so that's what it is.
Then we go back to the ship for a second. Scotty's still clenching his disfigured fist because in Starfleet, I guess disfigurations are yucky.
He
So
does
they're
what
Scotty, make sure that fist is clenched the whole time. Ain't nobody want to see your gross middle fingerless hand.
Don't give
It's
a
like
fuck,
this.
Captain.
Kirk gives Kelso the authority to trigger the bomb that Kelso rigged up and blow up Gary if he gets out, and there's no way to stop him.
That is pretty funny.
Which happens like right away. But it's
This
like,
is
hey,
when Kelso is all racist, right?
Yeah, Kelso's all racist, and he's crazy, and he's gonna blow everyone up because he's a racist.
Yeah, because he can't stand working with one black guy.
Yeah, and Kirk's like, hey, if he gets out and I'm not here, you can blow yourself up too with this bomb.
Thanks.
It's okay, I give you permission.
Thanks, Captain.
Here's the switch, get Kelso. Now, we're pretty bad at handling this whole godlike Gary situation. But it'd be real nice if you could just press this button and
Do us a solid.
Do us a solid and
Take one for the
blow
team.
yourself up too. I mean, he's God, so he probably won't die. But
Yeah.
I mean, at least you tried to stop him, right? But it's too late because Kelso has another fate.
My favorite character of this episode is Kelso, and he was my favorite character before I learned he was going to die. This is the problem I have a lot of the times. My favorite character in something is the one that inevitably dies. Is the racist. No, is the one who dies. It's like I don't know how I do it, but I seem to be able to pick the one who either turns out to die or turns out to be gay.
Well, yeah, and
Oh, it happens. I mean,
What the hell?
My favorite character of
trying to
this
remember who
episode was Gary. I really liked Sleepy Gary.
did you have a
I
favorite?
think Sleepy Gary looked a lot like Timothy Oliphant.
With
He
hair?
looked like someone.
Timothy
It
Oliphant.
wasn't him that it reminded me of, but I couldn't think of who it was.
Billy Zane.
Timothy Oliphant's a cool guy, so I guess Sleepy Gary's alright by me.
He doesn't look like Billy Zane. I like Billy Zane.
Yeah, I just like how the powers
dies
got to
a lot.
his head super fast, and he had powers. I mean, everyone else was pretty stupid. So I mean, if he's stupid too, he's on par with everyone else. But he has powers, and he's the one who carries the episode. Kelso is on the self-destruct button. Goofy Kelso gets strangled, and no one cares. Uh-oh, Sleepy Gary must have had a sexual harassment lawsuit on his hands by the looks of his frisking hand. Yeah, because he's like, I really like your face. And then I think he has it like, how cops have to frisk like with their opposite side of their hand? Like the back side of their hand?
I have no idea what the fuck you're doing. I don't know.
No, when they frisk, they're not allowed to like put like hands like right on the titties and stuff or hands right on the balls. They have to like frisk. They have to...
Official
I don't know.
Yes,
terminology.
Yeah, they
I
have
don't
to
get frisked as
frisk.
often as you
They have
do.
to frisk
When
with
you're
the
frisked, you
backside
can't
of
put
their
your
hand.
hands right on the titties or right on the balls.
Yeah, so he's going to touch her, and he like touches her with like the backside of his hand every time, and it bothered me. I'm like, dude, just like get up in there, man.
Grab a handful.
Yeah, she's into it, man. You can go for it.
You got godlike powers that's turning her
Yeah,
on.
don't be coy.
Don't be McCoy.
Yeah,
McCoitus.
and Lady Friend was a tinfoil-eyed one too.
Oh, twist him, night Shyamalan.
Yeah, so Dr. Pepper runs up to Captain Kirk and wakes him up, and Captain Kirk's first words out of his mouth were, "Did you see that erection?"
But I do find it somewhat ironic that Kirk goes hunting the tinfoil eyes because they've got godlike powers and they don't have the wisdom to use it. But like just a minute ago, he said, "Kelso, if I'm not back, blow the shit out of this fucking planet." Like, it's not enough to just blow up the fucking facility. I want the Starship Enterprise to fucking nuke this planet from orbit because there are godlike people on this planet who don't respect life and will fucking use their powers to blow up this planet.
Yeah,
So
he's
blow
an
the shit
idiot.
up of this planet.
Yeah, he doesn't make any sense.
Well, I
What
think
would
it's
you
funny.
do as captain? What else? What are you supposed to?
Well,
do?
I think we came to a consensus. Sean and I came to the consensus that we'd murder Sleepy Gary in his sleepy sleep.
So you don't have to nuke the planet.
So you don't have to nuke the planet.
You just start
or
by
wrestle
killing
topless
Gary.
with him.
I
Only if
would
you
have
want
just.
to.
You didn't know the extent of his powers. I would have just left him on the planet by
Kirk
himself. I
even-
mean, what's he gonna do? Fly around? You don't know if he can do that.
Spock even advises killing him, though.
Not Spock.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He's
Although I guess we
force sport.
established earlier that he doesn't know what logic is.
But he knows what murder is, and murder for him
He's
is
good at it.
good.
Good. So Captain Kirk goes wandering around. Sleepy Gary interrupts lady friend. Yeah, so they're on this like desolate wasteland, and Gary says, "Check out my powers," and he makes that desolate wasteland into a lush petting zoo setup.
Ooh.
Why petting zoo?
Because that's what it looked like. It had like
It looks
hay
like
on
a-
the ground.
It looks like a soundstage. It looks like a
You think
soundstage.
everything looks like a soundstage?
It does. It's
No,
a
it
map
was
view.
like there was
It probably
nothing
was a
there and some
soundstage.
rocks, and then he throws down like some plants and
I
like
like
a
the-
cactus and like some hay.
I like the petting zoo thing.
Yeah,
Whatever.
it seems like a petting zoo.
You
Fine.
had like a space llama over there.
Space petting zoo, whatever.
Yeah, and he says, let there be food, and so he has all these powers, and he's like, check it out, you hungry? I can make you this, and he makes
Like a
he
pair.
makes apples, he makes Catharian apples
Oh shit!
out of everything.
You know
I don't
what's really good?
I don't know what Catharian apples are.
Catharian cider is fucking amazing.
Then he should have made Catharian cider.
Yeah, ferment
Because
that
this is
shit.
happening in Stardate 4723.
Ferment
So,
that shit. Sell it on the
on the
Talaxi
Space
market.
futuristic eBay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, wow, what a great power, Gary. You're super amazing. You can make apples appear.
That's kind of cool. I mean, like, can you make apples appear? Fuck no.
That's it? Nobody would be amazed by someone who could
That
make
is
apples.
an amazing
It's called a
superpower.
farmer.
You know, I myself am a simple apple farmer.
Yeah, so a giant tree with an abundance of ripe apples.
Catharian apples.
You've had enough. He takes away her apple. Kirk is sneaking around for a while, and the two are just hanging out.
It is funny the way he shuffles around like an army. He's doing the army thing. He thinks he's gonna get a sniper shot on him.
Yeah, I thought that he was flanking them, like he could see them and they couldn't see him.
No,
He was like crawling around on the ground and
Miles away.
Yeah, they weren't even close.
No,
It's like
and they just
playing-
walk up, and then by the time he gets close enough, they just walk up to him and kick the shit out of him.
It's like he's playing Metal Gear and he doesn't realize he's been caught.
Yeah, so she's just like in amazement with the Catharian apples, and he then shuts her up because he says that he can sense Kirk being around, and he turns to her and says, "Stop being a psychologist." And then she says some bullshit, and then he says, "But you're a psychologist." Yeah, and then Kirk does a somersault. Smooth moves, Ferguson. Lady friend, lady doctor, confronts Kirk the first time. Yeah, and then she's like telling him like, "Oh, you shouldn't be doing
should
this.
get the fuck
Gary
out."
is so amazing." And yeah, and he's just telling her,
You gotta kill him.
you gotta kill him. You gotta get out of there because Gary's getting too strong. And she's like, "Whatever, just come with me." And then they go over there.
Yeah, you can't really tell what team she's playing for at the moment. Like, yeah, she's got super ESP powers. I mean, he should just be as concerned with her as he is with Gary. I mean, as soon as he finds out he should have shot her.
She has the eyes also.
Instead, he
Yeah.
wants to reason with at least one of them to change.
Also, this is the lady who is defending
Yeah.
his godlike powers and telling Kirk earlier how much they need Sleepy Gary to be God.
Sleepy Gary and Kirk then start having their discussion. Sleepy Gary makes a grave in the ground.
Also, because I'm a
It's nice
geek,
prop.
they get the middle name wrong.
Oh, yeah.
James T. Kirk.
It's
Not,
James Riberius
And they
Kirk.
put, James
R.
R. Kirk.
R stands for racquetball,
Stands for
nerds. You
Riberius.
guys know what I'm talking about.
Kirk is telling Sleepy Gary that, there's no way they can control his powers and they should just give it up.
Just let me kill you real quick, just real fast.
Yeah, he seriously doubts that he could handle his newfound powers. Then Sleepy Gary does what would you consider, mind control? It's not mind control, right?
Ew, he does. Yeah, he does like a
he makes
puppeteer
him
thing.
get on his it makes him get on his knees and then put his hands in like the praying position.
Yeah,
And then Kirk, I believe he does his O face.
he does an O face. He goes, I'm
Yeah.
praying to you.
And that's when they have a Palpatine Yoda lightning fight.
Oh, well, who's they?
So intense.
Dr. Lady.
Also, Palpatine and Yoda never had a lightning fight.
Well, as they're fisting each other and knocking everything everywhere. Sleepy Gary gets really sleepy.
From being hit so much. He's like, oh, I'm so tired. I've been hit so much. I'm just gonna lay
I'll
down.
go with sleepy.
Yeah.
I'm all tuckered out.
Punch to the crotch. And as they're rolling around, it's clearly different stunt doubles.
I want to use that sound effect.
It's a good one.
Kirk fires at a rock and causes ground to shake, which throws Sleepy Gary into the grave. And then the rock falls onto
He shoots
the
the rock.
grave, apparently crushing him.
To death. To death.
Yeah, even
For
though
dead.
it shouldn't have crushed him. He should have been fine.
'Twas the rock what killed the
This
beast.
was the rock before Christmas.
Can you smell what the rock is cooking?
It's Sleepy Gary's corpse.
Lady friend dies from exhaustion. She was on the ground for a very long time.
I will
And
have.
they tuckered her out.
I have to say that it is awful convenient that she died because it would have been awful awkward had she survived
Maybe
that.
she didn't actually die. She was pretending to be dead.
Maybe, but I mean,
yeah, just like
kind of
Sleepy
like
Gary.
Sleepy Gary
When he
pretended
pretended.
earlier.
Yeah. Remember
So
that?
He did.
Maybe.
He was teaching him.
so yeah, no. But the point being is, it's awful convenient that Lady Doctor dies because it would have been really awkward if she hadn't. And then he's like, "Oh, now I should probably kill you too. You've got superpowers. Just lay still. Let me put this in your back of your head."
Yeah, they should have shown Kirk shoot her in cold blood. That would have been
Just
cool.
to make sure she's dead.
Or yeah, just to make sure that she died, just shoot her in the head anyway. When they get back up to the bridge, apparently Kirk's not a very good friend because his dear close friend dies, and he seems very pleased with himself.
Sure, he won.
Well, I mean, he got rid of a major threat. That's an accomplishment, even if it was at the loss of.
Maybe the theory is that Kirk went into the field on purpose to give Sleepy Gary powers, so he had a reason to kill him.
That is true. Maybe,
He's
yeah.
been jealous of him the whole time. He could just never measure up to Sleepy Gary.
Everybody is so stupid that he probably, while Gary was unconscious, he put the tinfoil in his eyes.
Oh man!
And then he was so uncomfortable,
Yeah.
he thought he had superpowers.
Everyone was just.
The whole
Never
thing,
played along with it.
they were actually just tricking Gary the whole time.
He didn't really have apples.
Yeah.
He didn't make a tree. It was just what
It
he.
was all fake, like
was-
the moon landing. Am I right?
Yeah.
My question to you, Sean Matrix and Dutch Christmas, is placed in the same situation as Kirk. What would you do about your? Well, hold on. Let me even make it more personal because I'm a fucking sadist.
So personal.
Wow. Okay, so let's start with Dutch. Dutch, what would you do if Sean Matrix suddenly developed magic powers and talked all creepy and fucking evil?
I would probably try to see the extent of his powers. I would want to see what he could do with it. I would. I don't see why I would feel like I'm in any kind of danger at all.
And what if he starts talking about like, oh, I could squash you guys like bugs, and because that is some of the things that our Sleepy Gary has said. Yeah,
I would still be pretty ignorant. I would
Ignorant.
wait until he actually did something to me until I feared him, But until then, I'd be like, he's my friend. Maybe he's talking about other people crushing. I mean, maybe that'd be cool to watch.
so you wouldn't read in the implications of having absolute power. That wouldn't faze you. You'd be like, oh, he's got absolute power. He could pretty much do any sort of evil thing he wanted. But
You don't know he's going to do that.
okay, so
Sleepy Gary never did anything evil.
I know Sean
He
Matrix.
actually never did, right? Until he killed Kelso.
How long have you known Sean Matrix?
7th grade.
Yeah, I would guess because of how old we are, like 15.
Then you don't
Top of my
recognize.
head, 15.
Then you
years.
don't recognize Sean Matrix as probably like one of the worst people to have. absolute power.
Oh! If you had said Bingo
Thanks,
gas
Bingo.
station got the powers, then yeah, I would immediately kill him. But I could trust Sean Matrix.
Yeah, if we're going based on the pre-existing personality of the person you're asking us to kill.
You know what? I will have to say this. I'm glad we're not watching Babylon 5.
I'm also glad we're not watching Babylon
Me
5.
too.
I assume it's terrible.
Well, I've actually watched a lot of it, so
I've seen like part of it.
it is pretty
Is it as
bad.
good as Voyager? Doubt it.
You know what? Actually, it might be more entertaining for our fans if we watched Babylon 5 because it is painful. It is painful, and this, while not very memorable, is probably not going to be as good as our first episode.
And Vina makes a cameo.
Whatever. Anyway, thanks for watching. We love you. Please like, subscribe, follow us on Twitter.
Give me the keyboard.
Give me the keyboard.
Yeah, you have to say the name.
On the Twitter.
You want to try to sing the theme song?
Sure.
Okay, ready?
How does the lyrics go?
Well, we're not doing the lyrics because
Aw.
we can't. I just don't do the lyrics.
Sometimes some crimes go
Do,
slipping
do,
through
do,
the
do,
cracks,
do,
but
do,
these
do,
two gumshoes are
are
picking
familiar
up the
with
slack.
tracks.
There's no case
Too
too big, no case too small.
When you need help, just call.
Chippendale.
Ah, Tricky Trick.
Oh,
We should
Trippety
God.
Tricks.
tracks in there.